Hello and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be doing a stock analysis on Oklo. Now if you don't know what they make nuclear reactors, but they make very small nuclear reactors, which the main purpose of those would be for data centers, military or large factories that are remote and want to produce their own electricity. Now if you take a look at the stock overall, as you can see here, it has actually been performing quite nicely. As you can see, it was launched on the stock exchange at about $10 back in 21, and ever since then it grew quite nicely all the way up to $17, $18. Within the first 3 years, it was laying quite flat until then, which is good for companies that recently launch when it's such a niche like this, that it doesn't just fall down straight away like it does with some companies. Now, after that, it fell all the way down to right about $5, but then recently we have seen a huge increase. It was trading all the way up in $58, which is quite insane. And then, of course, recently we did just have this death cross here when it was coming down, and ever since then it dropped down a bit. It actually picked up a little bit more after this, but then it tumbled back down. And right now it is currently laying at a support line, actually, as you can see here. So it is laying quite nicely on the technicals, so that's quite decent, of course. And as you can see, currently it is down 9% for the day almost. I also think that's just because yesterday it was also quite a bad day for the stocks in general that are American. So yeah, that is something to have in mind, that the American stocks recently haven't been performing that well. But now it's down 9% today. I don't know the reason for that exactly, but I'm just speculating here. Now we did also see that the last earnings, they don't really make any money, and that's because they don't make any money at all at the moment. So as you can see, back in 24 they were down with 8,000%, then we have down by 3%, which is not that bad. And then this time they were below it by 35%, which of course is not that great. And now as you can see here, once again, their earnings here, they lose every time, and of course they don't pay dividends, but they did actually use to make money, net income, and this was primarily when they were raising capital. And now you can see in Q2 of 24 and Q3, they actually had quite a large net deficit in the net income, and this is because they're making investments and that they are making new reactors to, of course, so they have some results to show. They did get rejected in 22 by the Department of Energy because of a lack of information, and I think that was simply just because there weren't enough data on whatever product they're building it, which is the Aurora reactor. But they are working with the Department of Energy, and they are making a new chance to get it, how do you say it, accepted that their nuclear reactor will be built and that they can actually sell it. And now the chairman of the board is Sam Altman. If you don't know who that is the founder and current CEO of OpenAI. So, and he backs them a lot because he thinks that Oklo's reactors will be great for data centers as they make 1.5 megawatts. So very interesting that he backs them. Of course, he is the chair of the board, so he probably has a large stock in Oklo as well. So you should be a bit worried about that. But of course, there are insider trading rules, so he can't just say things that are false. Now, if you take a look at how it performs, we can go all the way back to 21. As you can see, and 24 performed nicely. 22 and 23, not that great, but not that bad, and 21 not that bad. So unless you bought it in the peak up here in 25 where it's up by 150%, chance of you having a loss in this stock really isn't that large, of course, unless you also bought when it was back here in 25, and unless you bought back here also when it was up in 20. No, then you still be. So yeah, as you can see, most people in this stock might actually be sitting on a positive, which is quite nice. So there isn't this huge speculative that wants it to go down, because as we see in some stocks, say that it was launched up here at, let's say, just say $15, $16, and then it was trading all the way down, and it kept trading down here. That would be a huge speculative reasoning to get up again, so people would get their money, but we don't see that. Now, personally, I do like this company quite a lot. I just think the product is so unique that I think chances of them being successful is quite decent, also because they are partnering up with the Department of Energy, which is the regulatory board which has to accept their bid for nuclear reactors. So I think it's quite interesting. Also because they make so small reactors that they can't have a meltdown and they don't need outside cooling, and chances are that we can see that they can keep using their own fuel that has been turned into garbage, and then they can reuse that once again. So that's quite interesting as well, but that is not confirmed yet. Now on the technicals here, you can see for the day it's a strong sell. Of course, it is minus 9% at the moment. For the month, it is actually a buy. and that is because it is sitting on a, as you can see here, a support line. Now for the month, if we go back a month, as you can see, it did of course fall down from here, but besides from that, it was quite a large fall. It is actually trading upwards quite decent. Of course, we did see this drop to yesterday and today, so that is of course bad, but the technicals really aren't that bad on the stock, and it's not as volatile as many stocks are. You can also see that here in the RSI. Over shorter periods of time, it actually trades quite nicely in the upper brackets, and then when it's down, it trades quite nice in the lower brackets. Now, you might not say it's nice, but the fact that it keeps trading down here rather than spiking up and down, up and down, up and down, means that the speculative and the shorters in this stock probably isn't that large, which I like quite a lot. Now, we did see, of course, at the moment it is trading down here in the bottom of the RSI, so it is being oversold a bit, so we might see a bit of a rebound here once the yellow line here also properly enters into the bottom of the RSI. We might see that. Now, the analyst rating for this is quite good, to be honest. As you can see here, its average rating is up by 100%, and we don't have any sells in the stock at all. Now, we have 4 strong buy, 1 buy, and 1 hold. And as you can see here, it's actually, why won't it show? Weird. Now, you can see the max is 170% up, and the average is 102%, and the lowest is 25% up. But for a stock that is this, what you might call speculative, is quite nice, because sometimes we see extreme with it's up 500% or minus 70%. So I like it's quite rational. I think a $50 target for the year, there it is. Now you can see it. A $50 target for the year is not unreasonable at all. I find it quite realistic. So yeah, quite interesting. And as you can see here, the chances of their forecasts for them losing money annually is actually getting smaller and smaller. As you can see, the estimate for the year was they were going to lose a lot of money per share, and that is almost 10% of what it was expected to be. So either they expect to make more money, or think that their investments are gonna be not that large, because they already made the capital heavy investments. So yeah, quite interesting to see that actually. Now, if you did like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe.